Let us now proceed to the most awaited moment this evening. I request our Honorable Minister Shri Ashwini Vaishnaw ji to kindly address the gathering. This will be followed by an introduction of the audience.
Thank you very much. Namaskara. Hege diri. Correct pronunciation. So first of all, apologies for coming 2-3 minutes late. We had gone to see a digital clinic and on the way traffic was. So we tried to come exactly on time, but just 3 minutes late. Apologies for that. I'll be taking about 45 minutes, 50 minutes of your time. And since all of you have found time to come to this event for listening on a Sunday evening, where we could have done many more better things. So I hope I'll be able to do justice to your time. So great, thank you so much. We will have this is the screen, right? We'll have about 50-ish minutes presentation where the development story will be played out before you, and hopefully it will be a convincing story. So I'll begin with the railways. Railways, Prime Minister wants to totally transform Indian railways. And over the last 8 years, so many things have happened in railways that it has come to it has taken a quantum jump, and the next step change has to now happen. And that is what we are right now working. To begin with, we are starting with the stations and trains and many other technologies. So this is New Delhi railway station. Can you imagine the railway station can be like this? So this is in the heart of the city, right in the middle of a very congested area. How do we create a new urban space? How do we create a city center which will become the focus of urban life in that area? That's the design theme with which very good architects and design engineers have worked. Tender is already out. Hopefully by January end we should be able to award the tender and start the construction work. Pre-construction activities have already started. What I'm going to show here is not something which is futuristic, but things which are actually happening as we speak. There's nothing which is in a planned stage. Everything is actually which is being done right now, so that you don't think that I'm selling any dreams, right? It's a reality. It's a reality. It's hardcore reality out here. Again, within the station, huge urban space, multiple levels wherever needed, a lot of space for waiting areas, for food courts, for selling local products. For example, Modi ji always says that in our country, every city or town has something unique to offer. Why can't railways be the mode by which we take such products to the market? Because railway carries 2.5 crore people every day, 800 crore people in a year. It's a huge number. So getting an exposure of this type can make a big difference, and this is actually showing up in the one station, one product stalls that we have launched across the country. There are some places which are selling 30,000 rupees a day. So that kind of sale is happening of local products which were not even finding a market earlier. So lots and lots of space getting created. This is Ahmedabad. Again, a very congested area, and the station itself can become the focus of development of that part of the city. As we say, reunivation of the city center is possible using the station. Wherever possible, we are trying to bring a totally modular construction technology. Constructing stations is very complex. So the yellow lines that you see are the platforms. On platforms, we raise the first set of pillars. On top of it, we put the roof, and then as much as possible, we are doing elevated network around the station, so that the station traffic, because when we initially designed these stations, and I went to PM with a presentation, it was a 2.5-hour presentation. PM listened very patiently, and it didn't approve. I was like, what happened? We spent 3.5 months, and PM spent 2.5 hours of his time listening to this presentation, and there is no approval. So at the then we came out with a long face, and middle of somewhere like 11:30 or something like that, I get a call from the PM, and PM says, Ashwini ji, ये ठीक है आपने स्टेशन डिजाइन किया अच्छा है. This is good for today. It's not enough. Design for at least 50 years ahead. Then only it will be good. So, a bit of pause. How many of your bosses? All of your bosses, right? So, has to be bosses should be tough. So we went back, put entire thing into a shredder, and got the entire teams of architects and designers and structural engineers and all, and made sure that the design is redone. It took us 4 months, but we went back, and then he gave a thumbs up. So then we started doing the tender work. So that was good. That's the way PM is thinking. So it's very tempting for a politician to think of election to election, right? To think of things in terms of elections. He never thinks in terms of elections. He always says elections, so we will win in any way. People have that faith. But our work should not be defined by electioneering. So all across the station, elevated road network. The second floor, then comes on top of it, third floor and fourth, wherever needed, wherever open spaces are needed. Lots of large towers can be. I'm sure you would have seen Tokyo Central Station. How many of you have seen Tokyo Central? Right? 4 large towers, Marunouchi towers, near the heritage building. You go to any place in the world, the station area is a very important area. So that can be really developed as a very important commercial center. So large buildings around the station. And wherever possible, we take the heritage of a place into account or the culture of the city into account and make sure that we create something which is harmonious with the city. We don't want to create a cement and concrete jungle. We want to create something which is harmonious with the city, takes the past into account and takes the future also into account. For example, Ahmedabad station is all designed using the Sun Temple of Modera, which is one of the oldest sun temples. So using that architecture, we have designed it. Again, a lot of urban spaces inside. The point about developing the station area, so this is New Delhi as you saw in the first slide. All around this, there are colonies which are having absolutely dilapidated houses, quarters in very bad shape. All that can be converted into a totally new urban area. It's almost like developing a town, township also. And our railway employees can get better housing and people can get a lot more new facilities. This is Jaipur again, very thematically it's based on the Hawa Mahal. Gandhinagar capital, that tower that you see on top of it, this is an already constructed station. Tower that you see that is on top of the station, and that's now a good hotel, very frequented, very popular. So in a way, the station itself provides the opportunity to create urban spaces. Let's see the tower. Got a huge tower on top of the station, right? Then again taking elements from the city. Chennai Yalambur, again a very complex station, very complex transportation network out there, but we are able to design it in a very nice way. Then there are places which have very unique architectural heritage like Ernakulam. So we are retaining that architectural heritage and trying to build in tune with the place. But some of the common elements are always there. The urban area, the roof plaza. Roof plaza is one of the key themes because stations tend to divide the city into 2 parts. City has grown on both sides and stations were generally on one side of the railway tracks. So PM very categorically told that instead of dividing the city, station should be the uniting factor for the city. So which means we create a huge roof plaza which is accessible to people from both sides of the city, and then we use that roof plaza as the common connecting point between the cities. Madurai, again the temple city. So if you look at the Gopuram up there on the station building, it's taking the elements of temple. This is our own Vishweshwaraya terminal, like an airport. Beautifully done. This is completed already. Honorable Prime Minister has inaugurated it. So 3 stations we were able to do on an experimental basis in the first few years. And now we are able to learn from that and scale it up in a very significant way. So unlike a normal other building, stations have some unique challenges. When the trains are passing, the amount of vibrations we get is huge. then the ventilation has to be proper, because whatever we do, even if we fully electrify so many thousands of people at one point of time, it has to be properly ventilated. Then in and out has to be very good. You should be able to cater to thousands of people exiting at in a very small amount of time. So all those things together have given us a lot of learning, and now we are able to scale up. Bangalore can't. And in Karnataka itself, we are doing about 46 stations. In Karnataka, we are doing 46 stations. We have a long list. I think I'll request the party to share the list with whomsoever is interested, so that at least people get to know which areas are getting it. Again, on the Bangalore Kent, a huge urban space is getting created. Right? Lots and lots of coffee shops, lots of local area products, lots of spaces where people can meet and do the business. Lot of areas where people can simply come over for a cup of for a dining experience. Right? Those kind of things are getting designed. Yashwantpur. Again, Bangalore is a city which is very modern, very technical, very forward-looking. It's a city which is a city which thinks in future. Rest of the country follows it. So we thought that we will design the stations within Bangalore city which are designed as per the IT culture, the technology culture of the city. Again, a huge aerial space getting created. And if you look at this, the metro is going nearby. So wherever there is a metro or a road or any other mode of transportation going there nearby, we are integrating everything into the station building. You remember when the Delhi metro was built in the initial years, a lot of transport planners and all urban planners, the biggest criticism was that it is not integrating with other modes of transportation. It is doing everything on its own. So those learnings we have incorporated in this new exercise, and everywhere we are integrating everything with the all the modes in one seamless experience. This is another station already completed, Rani Kamla station. Bhopal, again, the people who have visited the 3 completed stations, they say that we don't believe whether we are in India or we are in some other place. That's the common feedback we get when we talk to people. And there are thousands and thousands of videos on YouTube, for the younger guys, on Insta Reels. So thousands and thousands of them which show some of these station experiences. These are real photos of already constructed. Imagine the urban space out there, roof plaza. So it gives you a very good feel and experience of a station. This is Gwalior. The point I wanted to use this slide for how we are protecting heritage and still constructing a modern station. In this case, the building out there is a heritage building, and using that building, around it, the architects have created a totally modern building. So it's a very good combination of heritage and modernity. So when PM said that Virasat bhi, Vikas bhi. So that means heritage as well as development. It is not one vis-a-vis the other. It has to be taking both into account. So that's the way we are moving forward.